because the trigger has now been pulled, and we've been watching this circulation get more improved here minute by minute. So if you're down here in the Brooksville and Powersville areas, you should be in your safe place. You're now likely hearing the sirens again. And Brooksville, you're also likely to be hearing the sirens. If you're in Augusta, you're going to get nasty weather right along the Ohio River, but it's clear the circulation, I mean, look at that couplet there. To the west and southwest of Brooksville. In fact, Allison, as you're showing the times, I'll scoot here towards the middle so you can get the times and look downstream of this. But there's a couple of things I want to do with this storm. Here's the communities that are out ahead. You see the times there on this. For example, Powersville, you should already be in your safe place now. Germantown, 727, nasty looking signature, I think, on radar here. From this particular storm. The Reeds community, South Ripley, East Ripley, all those communities, you need to be getting into a safe place, but of imminent worry is for the folks from Brooksville down in the direction of Powersville. This is a nasty thunderstorm. Allison, I want to sample the winds on this and get an idea on how fast it's rotating. I mean, look at that there. I mean, you've got a very strong signature on radar. So we're talking about 90. Also, do a little sampling of the green, too, so we can get an idea on, let's get rid of the box again. There you go, and get right back in this area. So we've got at least what would appear to be, we know we've got 90, 40, so you've got about 130 mile per hour winds of shear, right? That means that's how fast the storm is rotating, okay? That doesn't mean there's a tornado, but that means that there's certainly, with that amount and speed of rotation in here, I wouldn't rule it out. Let's go over to reflectivity, because I saw something a minute ago that I thought was pretty interesting. Look at this right in here. You notice how you have where the reflectivity falls off in the center of this storm? That's what we call kind of a bounded area where we have weak echo. So I would not at all be surprised if this storm very well could be producing a tornado as it comes towards the Brooksville community right now. There is likely and quite possible there's some debris, at least probably some hail with that. All right, that's the debris signature. Let's go back, take this back, and let's see what's happening here, because this would bring that storm right over Powersville. At the moment. So take that back for me a couple of frames. Let's see if it's there, if it just pops up as we walk it forward in time. That's interesting. Can't help but wonder if we might not have had a very brief tornado touchdown with some debris potentially here in the Powersville area. So that's now going to be, so your circulation now is right in here. So at the very least, we know that this storm is capable of producing damaging winds, right? And very well could have a tornado with it as well. Somewhere here in the Brooksville, Powersville area, that's where I'm most concerned. If you're in Minerva, Germantown, even Chatham, for example, you need to be getting into a safe place if you aren't already. The storm's moving very quickly. Think about it, it's moving at close to the speed limit. Highway speeds, 55, 60 miles per hour. So this tornadic storm is right over the city of Brooksville as we speak, and probably moving off towards the east. So we are getting updates. If you're out here towards, what is this, Hillsdale Road, for example, Doyle's Lane even. I think that's an Asbury Road, for example. Any of these roads in Bracken County sound familiar, or if you have a loved one or family that lives down here, give them a call and give them a heads up that they are likely dealing with a tornado. It's interesting, again, to have seen that debris signature come up after it moved through the Powersville community. So we should probably be making some phone calls down here to see if anything has happened between Powersville and Brooksville over the next couple of minutes there. You see it's kind of messy, mixed in, but certainly appears to me that there could be rotation with this storm somewhere in this general area. I'd be very careful and treat this very serious if you're down here around Brooksville. In fact, again, this is what I mean. There's likely to be some type of circulation. If there's probably a tornado on this. If it's not on the ground, I would certainly expect it's awfully close, because notice how you've got complete radar returns and you've still got what we call in the weather world, it's a little complicated, it's what we call a bounded weak echo region, meaning meaning that you've got an absence of anything right in the middle amongst of all of this heavy rainfall and hail. And the only way that you can have that is if you've got a storm with a really strong updraft. There's a lot of motion into it. And usually underneath that, when you see this on radar, that usually will indicate that this storm is very likely or capable of producing a tornado. And I do think this is a nasty thunderstorm down here in eastern Bracken County right now. So we are going to have to keep a very close eye on this particular thunderstorm as it continues to work its way through the Brooksville area. If you want to, Allison, let's throw the velocity on here, get an estimate on some of those wind speeds. I mean, look at that signature now. If you live along 9, I'd be alert for this storm. There's a look at some very strong winds. So we at least know there's some 80, getting close to 50 to 80 mile an hour winds associated with this thunderstorm now. As it cruises to the east of Brooksville, anyone that's south of Ripley on the Ohio River, heads up. Anyone south of Dover, over here in Mason County, heads up with this storm as it comes your way. We're getting a new update on the radar. This is looking like one of the nastier signatures I've seen today on the radar indeed. So this storm, I should also mention, has had a history of producing a tornado. This is the storm that put down a tornado back in the Louisville area. And what we have come to discover as we deal with severe weather events is that once a thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado, it often can do that again. Even if it cycles down and then cycles its way back up, you have to be extra cautious or extra alert of storms that have previously produced tornadoes, because if it can do it once, it likely means that it has the structure and the ability to do it again. And this was that storm that put down a tornado earlier near Louisville. So nasty signature now on the radar. I mean, it doesn't get much clearer than this, where you have your reds and greens side by side right there, south of Chatham. This is going to continue scooting in the direction of Minerva. And then if you're in Ripley, I'd keep a heads up on this too, with this dangerous thunderstorm now moving in your direction. So very strong winds, and also the potential for a rain-wrapped tornado out of this thunderstorm. So this is what we're seeing right now with this nasty thunderstorm as it scoots its way towards the Bracken, basically Mason County line. This is an extreme eastern Bracken County. We have a tornado warning in effect. It's not quite yet to those of you in Maysville, so if you're hearing the sirens in Maysville, it's a little ways away from you still. However, I would say if you're in Ripley or Astoria along the Ohio River, you should be in a safe place, as this storm is likely going to move directly out of the Chatham community towards Minerva, and then on up towards 52, or the AA, I should say, right along the Ohio River. So here's 446, there's 9. This is in extreme eastern parts again of Bracken County, about to cross into Mason County, where we have the potential for a tornado warned storm, for a storm with a tornado possible on that. Are you guys getting anything in terms of confirmed reports or anything in the chat?
So far, I don't believe we have any confirmed reports in the National Weather Service chat from Ireland. No, none yet, says Adam. But Kevin, I do want to go over, apparently we've had some questions about where a safe place is for anybody who might be wondering. That's going to be the lowest level of your home. So we're talking basement. If you don't have a basement, that's going to be the most interior room and on the lowest level of your home. So a bathroom or a closet, a hall closet, or maybe a closet under a staircase, something like that, something that's going to get you as far away from the outside as you possibly can be, something that puts up those barriers there. So that's where you want to be if you're in your safe place. We had some questions about that earlier, Kevin.
All right, I think really quick here, before we get back to this tornado warned storm, we're going to stick with this. Let's just keep this up. I do quickly, though, want to toss to some images that we have. I think this is out of the Columbia-Tusculum area, where we have cars that are actually submerged in water. Not exactly sure what has happened here, but boy, that is nasty. Certainly hope that you aren't one of those homeowners. You can clearly see, should I say one of those car owners there. We're going to send it out to Lindsay Stone. She is actually live, I believe, in the Columbia-Tusculum community. Lindsay, can you hear me?
Yeah, Kevin, I can hear you. We've just been on the scene here for a few minutes. I just spoke to a couple of neighbors who live in this complex. They say, sadly, this has happened several times before, and it's all because of a sewer issue that blew the cap off of that. And you can see just so much damage here, multiple cars completely submerged. At first, when we pulled up, there was some concerns that there might actually be someone trapped in that black BMW. They can see is almost fully submerged in the water. Thankfully, we don't believe there's anyone in any of these cars. 911, of course, has been called. We're still waiting on emergency services to get here, and everyone just right now staying very clear of the water. This can be a really dangerous situation because you're not sure, of course, what's in that water, so it can be really dangerous. So right now, just tons of neighbors kind of congregating here and watching all of this. Right now, I can only count about 3 vehicles who are submerged in this water. You can see, though, the damage, all of these townhomes and apartment complexes all here, dealing with this damage that we're seeing. So, Kevin, I'll send it back to you. Again, we're just seeing more of this damage, and you can see how many neighbors here are just kind of taking this all in, taking photos. Certainly just a mess out here, Kevin.
All right, we're going to get to Kevin here in a second. Lindsay Stone, Columbia, Tusculum. You can see at least 3 vehicles underwater in an area that's prone to that, but we certainly got a lot of rain in a quick period of time. Real quick, we've got about 6,000 plus power outages, 6,000 plus customers without power here in greater Cincinnati, many of them in that Avondale, St. Bernard, Norwood area right now, but you're seeing some scattered outages in northern Kentucky as well. So we'll keep you on top of that situation.
And I know some people at home are saying, okay, well, we saw some heavy wind and rain, but not much of a big deal. All over the tri-state, we had several tornado warnings, some tornadoes actually spotted, and just now we're starting to see some of the damage. In fact, just a moment ago, we were looking at images along the highway. A lot of people were traveling home when these storms were hitting. 71 northbound on Victory Parkway, a car on its top. We're trying to make sure that that person's okay. It caused a major traffic backup and a big traffic backup we're also seeing up north in Butler County. 75 is shut down. I think I saw Karen Johnson ready to show us the damage up there. Again, power lines are down in that area. Karen Johnson can bring us the very latest.
Yeah, hey again, Cherie. Major backups here in the Monroe area in both Butler and Warren County. We're kind of on the border here. 75 is shut down, remains shut down in both directions. You could take a look here, and it is just shut down. As soon as we get any kind of estimate of when it's going to reopen, we'll let you know. Going to send it back to you guys.
All right, Kevin, what's the latest on the tornado warning?
Well, we're still tracking this tornado warned storm coming towards the Ripley community here. We don't want to let you folks down here because this storm continues to be very, very nasty coming in towards Ripley right now. We've been talking about that. Allison, switch us over to over to velocity here, and you can still see a very strong couplet on radar. This tornado is likely, again, Doppler radar so far, we're awaiting actual confirmation, but Doppler radar, I mean, this is one of the clear signals we've seen on radar today here. Basically, when we call what we call gate-to-gate shear, basically winds that are side by side, I guess I should say, moving in opposite directions. That's what's highlighted here in the reds and greens, okay? You can see how they're basically touching. They're abutted against each other. So this lets us know tight rotation. Very well could have a tornado with that. If you're in Ripley, this is the direction this storm is going. Right along the AA between Aberdeen and Ripley, basically in extreme northern parts of Mason County. This is going to be to the west of Maysville. This tornado or tornadic, at least circulation, will likely pass well to the west of Maysville. But if you're between Aberdeen, for example, and the Ripley community, and I really want to highlight those of you, Dover, Ripley, Historia, here's the circulation right now, and you can basically see it heading right towards, this is 62 in Ripley. So basically, if you're along 52 or 62 near the city of Ripley, this is in Brown County, southern Brown County, or if you're in extreme northern Mason County, folks, remember, lowest level of your home, if you can't get to a basement, interior room, or shelter is a good place to be. That's a good place to hide out. Is this another tornado warning? Okay.
Highland County.
This is the northern part.
Yep. This is Brown County and Highland County.
Brown County, Highland County. So here we are. Let's go back to reflectivity so we can get another look. Okay, so we've now got 2 tornado warnings once again in the tri-state. We've got Brown County and Highland County, and then we've got the other tornado warning in southern Brown County and Mason County in Kentucky. So let's deal with this one right here first. It's a little tough to see because it's kind of messy. We've got a lot of rain on here, but this just kind of speaks to what I was saying earlier about once a storm has the capability of producing a tornado, it may go down and weaken for a little while, but it can cycle back up. Let's see what we're seeing here on velocity, Allison, with that storm. This is certainly a very messy signature, so let's take it back a little bit. See how things are looking here, because maybe we can get a better image of where there might be a tornado on that. So I'm thinking, let's go back, scoot the frame back just a little, maybe somewhere in this area, right along, there's broad circulation, I see it there. So let's take this out. A little tough, but there very well may have been a tornado. Yeah, that's the reason why. Okay, so that's what we were following. Notice how the circulation was fairly broad, and then it tightened up, and now we've kind of lost it. So it makes me wonder if there's still a tornado there. That said, let's kind of respect the tornado warning because these storms have been cycling up and then they'll cycle down and they'll cycle back up again. And just in case you're wondering, this is the same storm that prompted the tornado warning back across northern Kentucky. So these storms do this oftentimes. And it seems like right now, well, it might have cycled up briefly, seems to be not quite as intense. Looks like there could be some, the radar's the signature's a little messy here near the Fayetteville area, but let's respect this, get into your safe place, that's for sure. And now we're going south again. And this is just an impressive signature again. I am concerned about this on radar for sure, just based off how it's appearing right now. If you're in Ripley, anywhere near the Ripley area, there's likely the potential for a tornado there. We're seeing strong circulation on the radar, that's for sure. Probably right back in this area is where you would find that. Let's do the debris tracker, Allison, by chance, and see if we're seeing anything on this, see if we've been able to detect anything from this storm being on the ground. And I'm not seeing anything clearly on the debris tracker, so that's a good sign. And the fact that we don't have a confirmed tornado report on this is also a positive sign. But you can clearly see right there where you are dealing with some nasty rotation coming up just south of Ripley. This will pass right south of the AA highway over the next couple of minutes, and then even cross 52 into southern. This will likely cross the Ohio River in the next couple of minutes into extreme southern Brown County. So tornado warning in effect for northern Mason County. If there's any good news, it is to the north of Maysville. That circulation should stay well to the north of Maysville, but I am concerned about something here coming up on just south of Ripley or very close to Ripley along 52 and the AA down there in Mason County. You can see the tornado warning, and it's kind of a short fuse polygon, but Ripley, Historia, if you're anywhere in this area, you should be into your safe place with this nasty thunderstorm coming your way. Basically, it's right over, we're talking about South Ripley Road, Tuckahoo Road, for example, any of these areas, Lease Creek Road, that's basically where your circulation is at the moment. So this is a tornado warning in southern Brown County, and then northern Mason County. If you're hearing the sirens in Maysville, for example, or even Georgetown in Ohio, this doesn't include you. This is to the south. This is basically right along, there we go, that purple shading, you know what that means, okay? So we've seen this several times today now. We now know that this is a confirmed tornado because this is now purple. And I mean, look at the signature there on radar. Well-defined, I mean, you don't get it much better than this. The red and green icons, or should I say pixels, are exactly side by side. And this is a very classic tornado signature on radar. In fact, we just got an update. This tornado is coming in very close to Historia in the next couple of minutes. So let's zoom all the way down, Allison. Let's get in as close as we can here, because there's a look. The tornado in the next couple of minutes from Tuckahoo Road over towards South Ripley Road. And then this is going to move, there's Historia. The city of Ripley's up here. Looks like the tornado is going to come very close to Historia. I think this is 2nd Street. And then Elk Drive. So any of these communities right along the Ohio River, from East Ripley to Historia, south, you need to be in a safe place because this is now a confirmed tornado by Doppler, I should say visually confirmed, obviously, as well as by Doppler radar. So we've got this coming in towards Astoria. Over the next couple of minutes, a tornado is headed towards you, and you need to be in your safe place right now. There is a look at the circulation here. Again, anywhere between South Ripley Road and Tuckahoo Road is where this tornado is going to be at the moment. It looks like the city of Ripley proper, the tornado may stay just south of you, but it is going to be very, very close. I think anyone in Ripley, Astoria need to be in your safe place. And then heads up, if you're across the Ohio River into Brown County, you too need to be in your safe place now that we've seen this box go from red to purple. Whenever it goes to purple, that is now a confirmed tornado. So we're not just speculating on Doppler radar. This is a confirmed tornado. I've been saying Astoria, it's right on top of you. You should be in your safe place right now. And then here's some other times should that tornado warning be extended out. So again, we're not seeing a lot of tornadoes, but we have had warnings and several confirmed tornadoes now in the viewing area this afternoon. So here we go. There's your purple box highlighting that tornado threat. So again, it appears to me now as if and something I should mention, just looking at this, I'm doing a radar analysis on the air as you're watching live at home too. I will mention that this storm is hauling. It is moving very quickly because just within these couple 90-second updates, you see how this storm has moved out of Kentucky now and into southwestern Ohio. So now the tornadic circulation is likely either right on the Ohio River or very well may be into extreme south central Brown County. But that just shows you how fast these storms are moving. They're moving at highway speeds. 55 to 60 miles per hour. They're getting close to the speed limit. That's why when the warning is issued, you have to act very quickly here on days like to this because storms are moving at such high speeds. So here we are now. I'll get ready to sound the all clear in Mason County. I just want to let another frame or two go by of this tornado, a couple of minutes. But I would heads up if you're in Neal or Height. I hope I'm saying these names right. Down here in the extreme southern parts of Brown County. And soon to be, I suspect, we're probably going to get a tornado warning that's going to extend out of Brown County into Adams County, probably in the next couple of minutes. Heads up, West Union. You're not in a tornado warning yet, but I venture to say one's coming based off what we're seeing here on the radar in the next couple of minutes. So Allison is drawing a time track on that. Again, no warning officially in West Union. Early heads up. If this storm maintains its intensity, 832 coming in your direction. That's what will be happening here over the next couple of minutes. So again, there's your various times. You can see them all right here. There's your times. So for example, if you are in Neal and Height, you've got about 10 minutes before this circulation gets close to you. So the Neal community, the Height community, again, out of mobile homes, into an interior room, into a safe place. If you can't get to a basement, a bathroom, again, the key is to protect yourself from flying debris. It is the flying debris that is the #1 killer in the tornadoes. It's not the winds, it's the things flying within the wind. So that's why we say pillows, helmets, anything you can do to protect your head from flying debris. Looks like we may have, it's tough to say for sure, looks like you may have some small returns there on the velocity. That's interesting because you see it kind of comes and goes away. So, you know, I can't say with certainty that's something, but given the fact that the box has gone purple, obviously there is a confirmed tornado with this. So I see Adams County is now illuminated, it's now highlighted. It seems like they went with a severe thunderstorm warning in Highland County. I suspect, not Highland County, but a severe thunderstorm warning down here in Adams County. I suspect that is because there's a little more time left on this tornado warning. If I were a betting man and this storm maintains this level of organization, this will likely be upgraded in Adams County to a tornado warning in the next couple of minutes. So just an early heads up, be prepared to act, West Union, because you can clearly see this nasty looking storm scooting off towards the east and northeast. Really quick, how are we doing with the tornado warning? I'm not sure. I just want to get a quick update that was in effect for northern Brown in the Highland County. Has that been allowed to expire?
Yes.
Or is that still there? Okay, that's what I thought. I saw at the top of the screen, I didn't see anything. When we left the storm, it didn't look as impressive as it did when the warning was initially issued. So I think that's a wise call there. Not as intense. The main player seems to be this thunderstorm down here now in extreme southern parts of Brown County. So here we go again from the Height community. Neil, you folks, strong winds practically on top of you at the moment. How's velocity looking, Allison? How's the actual velocity looking on this?
Let's see here.
Little more difficult, but again, you're still going to get strong winds out of this. Radar is still estimating hurricane force wind gusts, so you're going to get, even if there's not a tornado any longer, you're still getting very strong winds out of this on the order of 60 to 70. Maybe a little weaker at the surface in reality, but just above the ground, though, winds are screaming out here. So that's what we have. At the moment, the Weather Service has not pulled the trigger on a tornado warning for Adams County, but again, with this level of organization, I could clearly see one coming shortly. And also, I should give a heads up for the Clayton area, also Bentonville. I know you folks are before West Union. Bentonville, Clayton, for example, out here on what's this, 125? Basically, if you're along 125, if you live along 125 in Adams County, or eastern Brown County, you should probably be getting into a safe place just to be extra cautious here. It's a severe thunderstorm warning. I'm sure the warning, does the warning tag, Allison, have tornado possible on it?
The warning tag, yes, it has tornado possible on it, and it doesn't expire for another hour and 5 minutes. So this is a huge severe thunderstorm warning that they've issued. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not they end up keeping the tornado warning going or if they go with a severe thunderstorm warning there, Kevin. But again, that rotation still.
It's healthy rotation.
Yeah.
And I suspect because it's still within the original tornado warning polygon, they're going to try to ride it out to the last minute. You don't want to issue tornado warnings if you don't have to, okay? And the storm is looking a little more elongated. Notice it's a little more stretched out versus where we had the kind of gate to gate. It's kind of more of a long line here with that. You can kind of see that. But I still am concerned as it gets ready to move its way into western Adams County that this storm still could produce a tornado. So I think we stick with this a few more minutes and see if they decide to extend the tornado warning, given the fact that the box is purple, and that means that they have had a confirmed, at least, tornado out of this particular storm. So, and again, when these storms, once they produce a tornado once, they easily can do it again, usually, in many cases like this. So, at the very least, you've got high winds with a possible tornado coming towards those of you in West Union. What's those other communities in here? I think it was Bentonville. Bentonville was one of those communities here. There's Bentonville, and then there's the community of Clayton. So here's 125. If any of you are familiar with this coming out of Brown County into Adams County, 125 here. So at the very least in West Union, strong winds are coming your way with a tornado possible on this. We'll see if that warning gets extended here over the next couple of minutes. Right now, it seems to be that they are just hanging with the severe thunderstorm warning, but this is a nasty storm indeed. So what else is happening? Let's do a quick big picture setup at 7:40 and see what else is happening. Here's some good news. Southeast Indiana, you've now been cleared of the tornado threat and tornado watch. So we can now sound the all clear for you folks over in Southeast Indiana. All of the activity now is essentially basically in our extreme southeastern communities. So basically anyone from Robertson to Mason. There we go. All right, Allison, let's zoom in. They did go ahead and pull the trigger on this, as I suspected they would, and issue a tornado warning for Adams County because this storm is still fairly healthy looking. I do notice that they only went with a red box because they haven't had any additional confirmations of the tornado. Whenever the box goes from red to purple, that means it's been a confirmed tornado versus just Doppler radar indicated. So right now it's still Doppler radar indicated, but the storm still has fairly healthy structure to it. So if you live along 125, anywhere west of West Union, from West Union west now on 125, move to your safe place quickly because you do have a possible tornado coming in your direction. Looks like if you're over here in the Bentonville, here's Bentonville, there's the Clayton area. Circulation just blew through Neal, or is coming through Neal as we speak. This is going to move almost east-northeast, so this would take it very close to West Union. Anyone in the Adams County area in West Union, you've only got a little bit of time here, probably about another 10, 15 minutes before this circulation is upon you. So now you're hearing the sirens again in Adams County officially as this thunderstorm is moving in your direction. We were thinking this would begin to wrap up around 8 o'clock. It's nice to see that it's 7:45. We've been on for a while. It's nice to see that this is going to get out of here shortly in just a little while. So at least things are moving and not lingering around all evening. So this is what's happening. The tornado warning now in effect for folks in Adams County with the thunderstorm to the south of 125 that could have rotation on it. So we're keeping a close eye on this couplet right here now as it moves east of Neal and is going to move into parts of West Union. Have you guys got anything confirmed, anything mentioned out there in terms of damage from this storm anywhere down in that neck of the woods?
So far, nothing from what we've been seeing on chat and everything like that. I've got Adam Burnison right next to me, and he's helping kind of keep track of all of that. I did ask him, Kevin, just so you know, for why they decided to go with confirmed earlier when it was purple, and he was saying that it was a report that came in on amateur radio, the ham radio, basically. So that's kind of some backstory to that. But so far, no reports of any damage quite yet, but it looks like it's trying to start to strengthen up again. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I saw that as you started talking there. I was going to let you finish your thought, but that was the first thing that came to mind, that it does appear as if this circulation may be intensifying as it approaches West Union, folks. This is a nasty signature on radar again. Here's Fairview, there's Clayton. Look at this. I mean, you can clearly see the couplet. The tornado signature on radar. And if you extrapolate that out, that takes it right into West Union, folks. So if you are west of West Union, you have even less time to get to your safe place. If you are in West Union, this potential circulation is going to be crossing Briar Ridge Road over the next couple of minutes. Briar Ridge Road, here's your tornado or potential tornado. I think this is Grimes Road, but right along that, between, if any of these sound familiar to you, Blue Ridge Road, this is going to move towards Eagle Creek Road. This is also going to be, I think this is State Route 136, Fairview, Panhandle, West Union. Any of you folks along this stretch of 125 need to be in your safe place. You know, fortunately, we have these weather spotters and ham radio operators because they really are our eyes and ears out in the field when we're in these active weather situations. So we certainly appreciate all the storm spotters that are helping out this afternoon and getting these reports in there. So here we go. West Union over towards Panhandle, tornado warning currently in effect for Adams County with a formerly confirmed tornado. And I can't emphasize enough, this storm has already produced a tornado this afternoon with damage back towards the Louisville area. And we have at least a confirmed tornado from ham radio operators now in Bracken County from this storm. And now to see it to the west of West Union, at the very least, you're going to get some very strong winds out of this particular thunderstorm. So you're easily talking about very high winds. Allison, switch us over to storm relative really fast, because let's do some sampling of these winds in terms of the amount of wind shear, how fast this storm is rotating. So you're talking about at least 55 in total. You're talking about probably somewhere about 70 to 80 mile per hour shear with this storm. That's how fast the storm is rotating itself. So that will give you an indication in this general area in your greens and blues and red and blue couplets there. You've got some decent rotation. At least for our neck of the woods, this is a fairly impressive signature on radar. And I mean, well, you can clearly pick out where the tornado most likely is here, north of Clayton and north of Bentonville. This is moving in the direction of West Union. It is nice not to see any debris out of this just yet. Doesn't mean that it's not on the ground or anything. And I will mention that the tricky part of this is that this appears to be wrapped in rain too. So you can clearly see there's going to be a large area of rain that precedes any tornado that could possibly be on the back side of that. So that would be a very difficult tornado to spot. But again, it looks like, all right, I'm going to keep my finger here. Let's go back to reflectivity again. In this general area, it looks like we could have another very weak, what we call kind of bounded echo region, basically where we've got strong winds that are going to be ingested into the storm there. You see that kind of where the reflectivity drops off, the value drops off in there. Now, overlay that with where the rotation is on this thunderstorm, and I think you'll be able to pick out where the tornado most likely is located in this storm. Right there in the bullseye of that. So there you go. West Union, you are in line, or just west of you in West Union, you are likely in line for a potential tornado here. So folks, take this very seriously. This is a nasty looking signature on the radar coming up just south of Fairview and south of the Panhandle community. This is going to be crossing again. This is State Route 136. If that sounds familiar to you in West Union, you can basically figure out the amount of time that you have before that storm makes it into West Union proper. Again, State Route 136, calculate how far that is away from you. That lets you know how much time you have to get into your safe place, but you should already be there by now. To be honest with you. So this storm circulation is right on top of you. That is a nasty looking thunderstorm that is just minutes away from moving into West Union. So you've got less than 10 minutes before that storm gets to you in West Union. That's how much time you have now, less than 10 minutes. And now I haven't talked much about east. I haven't spoken much about folks east of West Union, but here are the additional times. Mineral Springs, Cedars Mill, Duncansville, Whippoorwill, for example, any of these communities, you too also are in line for a possible tornado. Mineral Springs, Cedars Mill, Duncansville, Whippoorwill. Any of these sound familiar to you, or if you have loved ones that live out here, give them a call on this thunderstorm, as it is a nasty storm. Look at that signature there, just south of 125. So that's what we're keeping a very close eye on. Again, this is a crossing right now. It's about on State Route 136. We just got an update. Look at your reds and greens right here. They're all side by side. That's the signature we're looking for on the radar. And I bet, again, it's going to be obscured by rain. So this is going to be very difficult to see. But right in here is where you're going to find that tornado. So it's crossing Eagle Creek Road, about to cross State Route 136 over the next couple of minutes to the west of those of you in the West Union area. So basically anyone along 125 is where you need to be getting into your safe place. How's the debris tracker looking? Are we still seeing anything going back and forth with that occasionally? Not seeing much in the way of debris. So that is at least a positive sign. Maybe it's not on the ground. Maybe this is more elevated in nature. I do notice they haven't gone with a purple box, but I should also mention, as you start getting out into some of these areas, it's a little more rural. So you may not have quite the signature that you would see from the debris tracker, but something we are going to keep a very close eye on. I also noticed there's not as much lightning out there with this storm. Doesn't mean it still can't produce, you know, a tornado clearly. So that's what we're watching, this thunderstorm heading towards West Union. Allison is putting on the velocity. You can clearly see a well-defined tornado signature on radar. To be honest with you, I'd be awfully surprised if this weren't producing a tornado at this point. I think this is a very strong signature. It's not a certainty that it is, but this is one of the more impressive signatures that we see around here. Okay, so to see something like that and just getting the update, I just remain convinced that there's probably something with this, at the very least, broad circulation, if not an actual tornado. This is about to cross 125. It looks like It may cross. Let's zoom in really close, Allison, to the West Union community here. Looks really close. Let's get in really close. There's the city of West Union. Okay. So this is Russellet Road. So if the circulation is going to be passing right over you. We've got Rigdon Road. If you're Laguna Lane, for example, these are all north of West Union. I do think the greatest threat, here's West Union proper. I think the greatest threat is north of 125, west and north on 125 here. So if you're up here towards, I believe that is, it's kind of Chaparral Road maybe. Kind of difficult to see there. But Rosslet Road, Rigdon Road, Lloyd Road, any of these, you need to be in an interior room right now. This is West Union. This is Rigdon Road. Again, that is going to be Chaparral Road, I believe that is. North Cross Street. Any of these areas sound familiar. If you're out here in Adams County, you need to be into your safe place, and hopefully you are already listening from the TV or your NOAA weather radio, or should I say listening to us on the radio. So here we are. Again, dangerous thunderstorm in Adams County. If you're joining us at 7:53, the severe threat is diminishing for much of the area. However, in the southeastern parts of our viewing area, the threat is still very real this evening with tornadoes and the potential for tornadoes. Again, there's Whippoorwill, Duncansville. All of these communities I have named. Here's a look at your tornadic circulation that is soon to be crossing over 125. There we go. We've now got a purple box on here. You guys look up in the chat. Let me know what they're saying. But we know what this purple shading means, okay? Someone has now confirmed this tornado. This is now a confirmed tornado crossing 125 right there, just west of West Union. Hopefully it stays west of West Union. Allison, what are you getting?
To give you a little bit of a kind of a little bit of where we are, paint the picture here. We are, where the signature is, Kevin, is close to the West Union High School there. So just to kind of paint a little bit more of the picture of the community of West Union right now.
So very close to the West Union High School is where this particular, is where we're seeing this. Any reports on the actual who confirmed the tornado or any description, anything along those lines?
Adam's looking into it right now to let us know. But so far I haven't seen anything about the confirmation of it yet.
We just know it's been confirmed because of the purple box here. Whenever we have the different legends for the radar, basically, red, it's a tornado warning. It flips over to purple when there's been a confirmation. You know, you'll hear us say it's Doppler radar. It's not actually, it hasn't been visually confirmed yet. Well, we know now with this purple shading that there's been eyes put on this tornado. There's a visual confirmation that has occurred with this from someone out here in Adams County now. So what we have is a confirmed tornado just probably right near the W in West Union. So I'm thinking right there is probably where we're seeing that tornado, very close to the W in West Union. And Allison mentioned West Union High School is where this circulation is very close to. Notice ahead of it, you're going to have a lot of heavy rain and hail. But right there near the West Union High School, let's go over to velocity again and see how that's looking in terms of, there you are, just north of West Union now is where your tornado would be. Rigdon Road, Rosslet Road, that's where you have a possible tornado. If you're up here in Whippoorwill or Duncansville, get into a safe spot because we do again have a confirmed tornado now, not only via Doppler radar, but also because it's been spotted. I would not at all be surprised if this continues. So if you live over Logan's Lane, Whippoorwill, Duncansville, Logan's Lane, this is all now north of West Union. So if you are north of West Union or northeast of West Union in the direction of Whippoorwill or Duncansville, Logan's Lane. Folks, get into a safe spot. There's your tornado. I mean, look at that signature there again. You've got your reds and greens basically indicating the rotation here in the atmosphere. That is what we are following at this moment. I guess we've got a little bit of information here.
Just want to show you correlation coefficient there because it's not showing up on radar very well.
So you definitely can see that there is some debris just north with that tornado. There's definitely a debris signature on the radar. So I can confirm as well with my own eyes from radar now, there is debris with this storm being lofted here. So this tornado is on the ground just north of West Union, moving in the direction of Whippoorwill up towards Duncansville. So Allison is circling the circulation. If you draw it up towards Whippoorwill and then over towards Duncansville, that's where your tornado is going over the next couple of minutes. I mean, just looking at this big picture, you can practically see the spin and hook on the storm when you look at it just from the velocity signature. You can see that right there, okay? So we just got another update. This tornado is very close to Whippoorwill. You have a confirmed tornado bearing down on the Whippoorwill community. So this now escalates things. This goes from being, again, Doppler radar to being confirmed to making this a life-threatening situation. If you're over here in Whippoorwill, this is life-threatening because you have a tornado on the ground headed in your direction right now. Whippoorwill and Duncansville. If you live northeast of West Union in Adams County, there is a tornado on the ground headed in your direction. Again, you want to be in a safe place. Remember, pillows, mattresses, anything you can use to protect your head from flying debris. We have seen debris show up on Doppler radar now with this tornado as it moves towards the Whippoorwill community again, just north of Adams County. I will repeat this message because it's worth repeating. These storms, when they produce tornadoes, they oftentimes will produce again. It's just a matter of when it happens. And unfortunately, in this case, this storm has had a history of producing tornadoes since it was all the way back in Louisville. 2 hours ago now, I guess, maybe 3 even. That's how long ago it's been. And here it is cycling up again now in Adams County. So we're going to stay with this until this warning expires and at least until this tornado moves out of the viewing area. Anyways, as it continues to cut a path across Adams County right now with debris. Let's try our debris tracker one more time here. And I think that speaks to the occasional where it shows up occasionally, but we lose it a little bit. It's not